I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can hear it. But that guy, right there somewhere, that's what I used to work on. There's a Black Hawk UH-60. You know, those are my first, you know, that's my first aviation true love, I guess you'd say. I'd say it was a work of art, but it's really not a work of art. There's a lot of stuff that could have been designed a whole lot better on that thing. But there you go. America at its best. All right, YouTubers, welcome back. You found, do it yourself, do it right. I'm Dave, like always. And, you know, got the old Harley hat back on. Got my Vanilla Arabia shirt on. That really doesn't mean anything to y'all, but, you know, it's what I wore when I was in Saudi Arabia. Planning on getting a little oily today, so I figured I'd throw on a shirt that I really didn't care much about. So as you can see, the big girl's out, the Road Glide, Black Betty, whatever the hell you want to call it. We are going to change the oil this morning, so get ready, get set, here we go. All right, so you know, it's early and it's warm. I'm already sweating. Got the bike out, got my oil changing equipment out and ready. You know, not too many tools associated with this task, job, project, whatever you like to call it. I'll go over them real quick though. Now I got my oil catch can, got my ratchet up there, got some gloves, keep my hands a little bit clean, and this you know, this sheet, it's got some nastiness on it. You know, it's got some nastiness to it. Lots of, you know, get your mind out of the gutter. Anyways, it's got a lot of oil on it. It's done a lot of oil changes. It's probably time to throw her in the trash. But, you know, it works on the nice concrete. Keep my knees from getting all scraped up. So anyways, got an extension with a socket. That's actually to remove the filter. It's located in that general vicinity right there. The filters that I use, they have the little nut thing on the side, or on the top of it, I guess you'd say. You know, they're wrench off filters. I haven't changed oil in this bike yet, so hopefully whoever wrench that one on there didn't wrench it on too hard, because that would be bad and a pain. I mean, I'm already gonna make a mess, so probably gonna, you know, cuss a little bit, because typically people put the filters on way too tight. You know, you just gotta snug them on there. They don't have to be, you know, gorilla torqued on there. You know, they don't have to be, you know, you don't have to Hulk on them, you know what I'm saying? When you just, you know, you just snug. There's an O-ring on them for a reason. So, can't wait to figure, you know, to try to get that off. So, anyways, here we go. There's the, you know, possibly required tools. If, you know, if I need more, they're in the garage. You know, there's a link to, there's gonna be a link over my head to, you know, the tools I use while I work on all these bikes. And believe it or not, the kit that I'm always touting, not gonna need it for this task, hopefully. So I'm gonna set you up down in that area, show you where the plug is, show you where the fill plug is, and let's get started. Alright, for those of you that's never changed the oil in your bike, or even checked the oil in your bike for that matter, to do that, we got this little guy right here. You know, we're gonna open that up. And this, you know, is your engine oil. This is also where you fill it. You know, when you're draining the oil, you want to vent it a little bit, you know, so the oil will drain. You know, it needs a vent, you know. So you got to open this up. And for those of you, you know, maybe in a later video, this guy here, that's your transmission oil. That's your transmission oil plug. You know, we'll do a full, all the fluid change next time when, you know, next time I change the oil, I'll change all of it. I'll change the engine oil, I'll change the gear oil, and, you know, the clutch fluids. I'll do all of them together. You know, most people, you know, when you take it to Harley, they'll do all the fluids. Well, I do it every other time. I'll do the oil, engine oil, and then after that time, you know, you get the picture. Every other time I change all the fluids. So anyway, so I'm gonna take you down here, show you where the engine drain is located, and it's really kind of hard to see. The best way to figure it out is, here's your engine, your transmission, it's split. You go down under the bike, and then you go in, and then you see your engine drain plug right here. That's the oil drain plug. Now, don't be confused with the plug that's up here. That's your transmission drain plug. So you want to, you know, make sure you're changing the oil. That's your plan. This plug right here. Now that plug is a 5/8. They kind of make it easy, you know, using American standard stuff. Surprisingly, you know, everything's going metric, but it is a 5/8. So got it right here, and I'm gonna set you up underneath there so you can get a better view of me making a mess. All right, folks, so you know, I got you set up kind of so you can see my drain pan, my ratchet, and I didn't put my gloves on yet, which I probably should. I mean, I got them out. Why not? You know, keep my hands from getting really nasty. The only problem with these gloves is they're black, and in the summertime, sun just, ooh, man, it heats up your hands something fierce, and you know, makes me sweat even more than I already do, which is a lot. So here we go. We got your ratchet. Make sure it's lefty loosey, not righty tighty. We want to loosen. And oh boy, wow, that was not tight at all. Good Lord. You know, stuff on this bike is really, you know, really making me question the place that I bought it from. There, you know, that was definitely not tight. I mean, I guess it was tight enough so it didn't leak, because it wasn't leaking, but good Lord almighty, you could at least put a little bit more on it. And you know, we're just gonna thread it off. Oh, here we go, all the way out, and pull it out. There you go. There goes the oil. She's draining. Good thing I put my gloves on, because I got oil on my hand. You can kind of see the color of the oil. You know, it's not 100% black. It's, you know, it's a little dark. but you know, not terrible, I guess. It was definitely in need of a change. That's why I'm doing it. You know, I bought the bike a few months ago now, and I was told that the 5,000 mile service was done. I got a video to you know, 5,000 mile service up here, over here, somewhere in the corner. The link to that video. And I'm pretty 100% sure that they didn't do it, even though they said they did it. I think this, you know, this just goes to show they didn't do it. I'm gonna go ahead and let that drain out, and I'll bring you out here. I'm gonna show you this plug. All right, so most of you that are mechanics or are a little bit mechanical, you know that drain plugs have the little magnet on the bottom or inside or wherever you want to call it of the plug, of the oil plug. And what that does is it catches the little shards of metal that could be floating around in your oil. And those pieces of metal come from your engine, you know, your pistons going up and down, all the gears, whatever. It's an indication that something is going wrong with your motor. You know, a shard here or tear, not terrible. But if there's a lot of buildup, if there's a big amount of fuzz and little shards and big shards, you've got yourself a problem. And that's an easy way to, you know, to know, hey, I should probably not ride the bike. I should probably either, if you're a mechanic, tear down the engine, check to see what's going on, or if you're not a mechanic, take it to a mechanic, you know, the shop, take it to a bike shop, you know, places that deal with Harley Davidsons, or take it to Harley Davidson. You know, I don't really like saying that because Harley Davidson is very expensive. Their labor prices are just astronomical. And you know, if you could help out a small business, why not? You know, if you have a good motorcycle mechanic, if you have a good shop that works on Harleys, that works on V-twins, you know, take it there. You know, like help out your neighbor. Really, that's how I feel about it. Now, I'm not a Harley hater. I do hate the prices that they charge. Now some places they do have really good mechanics, and they do some stuff. There's some really good Harley dealerships out there. The Harley dealership here in Savannah, you know, I'm not a huge fan, for a number of reasons that I'm not going to get into. I'm just saying, I'm just not a huge fan of the Harley Davidson here in Savannah. Now, there is a couple of Harley Davidsons around that are really good, that I know a lot of guys take their bikes to. One further south, one a little bit further north. But I know a good mechanic here. He's up in South Carolina. I've taken my bike there once or twice. He's done a little bit of work here or there. But yeah, if I have anything major going on that I can't diagnose, he's the guy that I take it to. And if you guys want to know who that is, you know, throw a question down in the block if you're local. I'll send you his way. He's you know, he seems like a good dude. He's a good mechanic. I don't know him personally, but he's a good motorcycle mechanic. So yeah, back to the plug. Make sure you don't have a lot of fuzz. There's really nothing on this one other than some grime, and you know, I'll wipe it off. And once that's done draining, make sure you throw it back up in there and give it a little bit more than what it had. You know, a little bit of not too much more, but a little bit more than there was. All right, guys. So as you can see, it's just barely dripping. I did go ahead and sit on the bike, bring it up level, you know, let some more oil, you know, come out of there. It's just barely dripping. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Cleaned up my plug, you can see, nice and clean. Got a little nasty rag right here. gonna wipe this up before I put the plug back in. So I do it all the time. You know, I wipe this up with the cars, trucks, whatever I'm changing oil. I always wipe it down first. You know, get that maintenance service nice and clean, and then, you know, we're just threading it back in there. Finger tight for now. And once that gets tight, get my trusty old ratchet. Make sure she's on righty-tighty this time. And all I'm gonna do is give her a little bit of snuggage. Once it gets tight, feeling some resistance. All right, and a little bit of eat. Ready? Eat. There we go. And she's tight. So there we go. Plugs back in, oil is drained, and I'm gonna move to the other side of the bike. I always like to change out the filter before I fill it up with oil. I don't know, just something I do. I don't know why. That's just how I do it. So, all right, folks. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is where it's gonna get messy. All right, so, you know, Harley and all their design expertise and engineers and whoever they use to design their locations of stuff, you know, they did it good on this one, let's put it that way. So if you guys don't know where your filter is, let me point it out. Here is your filter, right here, right here, right there. And you know, in the infinite wisdom of engineers, they went and put a cam positions or engine position sensor right here in the way. You know, that guy right there. So there's a couple of different ways you can go at getting this filter off. Luckily, whoever put this filter on, they put the little wrench off filter on it, which means I can take my socket, slam her up on there like so, and hopefully wrench it off. Now they do make oil filter removal little cup things. If you buy one of those, you're gonna have to cut a notch out of that filter wrench removal socket thing. You got to cut a notch out of there because of that position sensor. I do not recommend removing that position sensor. That, you know, that could cause problems. So, you know, do as you wish, or as you may, or as you might. When you, if you change your own oil, make sure you get one with this little wrench off option thing, and I'll show you that on this new one that I have. Now I'm putting a K&N back on it, and as you can see, it says wrench off technology right there. And if you want the part number for the filter, it's KN-171 Bravo. You know, I got it from O'Reilly's because that's where my son works, and you know, I can get a discount. I should probably get paid by O'Reilly's how many times I say their name, but I don't, so don't worry about that. And here's this little wrench option thing that I'm telling you about. You know, see how it's on the end? It's like a little nut. This one's cool because it's got K&N in it. That one over there, it doesn't. It's probably just a Harley model. So yeah, here's your filter, and we'll get back to that in a minute. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get you set up, and you're gonna watch me make a mess. And yes, I'm definitely gonna make a mess. Everybody makes a mess, really. There are little plastic things that you can, you know, shove up in there to catch the oil. You can possibly take a little, I've seen people take plastic bottles and cut them in half and put up in there, so you know, so when the oil, you know, drips as it's going to, it runs down the plastic and drips all over everything else, I guess. I mean, I don't know. You're just gonna make a mess. So what I do is, if I can find it, I take a nasty rag that I have laying around, one that's getting ready to get thrown in a trash can, and I just shove it up in there as best I can. And of course I put the oil catch pan underneath it in case it does drip down. It drips in the oil pan. But yeah, any which way you look at it, you're probably gonna get oil on something. Either your hands, your face, your bike, whatever. You know, just be prepared. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Just try to be a little bit prepared. Alright, so I got you guys set up as best as I can. You won't be able to see me, but whatever. You probably don't want to see me anyways. Got my trusty ratchet again with an extension and an 11/16 to go on the filter, which is right there. Now you might have to move your shifter around to get in there a little bit better. Maybe you want a longer socket. I don't know, whatever you choose. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that this filter has not been gorilla torqued on there. Now the old plug wasn't, so hopefully this one isn't either. So here we go. Let's oh, look at that. It's, no, definitely not. So I just wanted to check. Now I'm going to shove my nasty towel up in there, try and catch as much oil as I can that's gonna come out of here. And you know, it's like I said, it's inevitable. You know, it's gonna happen. So do as best I can to keep it clean. I just washed the bike actually not too long ago, so here I am gonna get oil all over it. Guess I didn't plan that out too well, did I? You know, I'm super good at the planning part with this bike. So here we go. Let's take this bad boy off. Yeah, I'm really surprised. That's pretty loose. And you guys are probably thinking that I pre-loosened it, and I didn't. I really haven't done anything to it. Twist, 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 and she's loose, and probably getting oil everywhere. Oh, 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 oh. Actually, not too bad. Not too bad. And it filters out, just like that. There's a good bit of oil in the filter, though. And we'll just dump it over here. Dump it in the can. And we'll, all right, now we're good. Now we're good. And as you can see, you know, it's dripping a little bit up in there. Maybe you can see, maybe you can't. I don't know. I can't see what you can see. All right, you can kind of see it a little bit. Move you over here. Let's lever up. So in here, you know, sometimes that fitting will come out. I had to move it. I had to remove it on my Softail Deluxe, and as you can see, there's a hex. It's a hex. You can, you know, if it comes off or it doesn't come off, you know, you can leave it up there. All right, guys. So I'm back up here in the garage. You know, bike's out there, letting it, you know, drip. So what I always do, and what you should do too, you know, you take your new filter and you get some new oil on your finger and you just rub it around. You just rub it around the edge of your filter. Set her down over here. You can see I already got some on it. You just kind of rub it around. So, you know, that helps with a couple of different things. So the next time you go to take it off, you know, it won't be just like sealed on there. You know, there'll be a little bit of lubrication to help that rubber, you know, come off. And the other thing is to help it seal. You know, it's kind of weird that you put oil on something that's gonna, you know, seal oil, but it works. You always lubricate, you know, your O-rings and your gaskets, and this is like an O-ring, so you always lubricate that up. You know, then you throw her back on, you know, the bike. So we'll come right back out here to the bike and make sure that it's stopped dripping. Now you're probably wondering why I'm not showing you what engine oil I'm gonna put back in the bike, and there's a reason for that. You know, everybody has their own preferences. Whether you're a Mobil 1 guy, maybe you're I'm only a Harley synthetic oil guy, and I'm only putting Harley oil in my bike. You know, that's a preference kind of thing, and whatever you prefer to put back in your bike is what you prefer. I'm not trying to influence anybody with their choices of oil. Now I will say that I am putting the recommended, I believe it's 20W50 back in the bike. So just know that, you know, I'm obviously putting oil back in the bike. I'm not going to film me putting oil back in the bike. You get the idea of how to put oil back in your bike. I'm just not going to film it because, you know, I don't want, you know, some of these guys, oh, why are you using this brand, or why aren't you using that brand? You're using junk oil. Why are you putting junk oil in your nice bike, and blah blah blah. You know, there's just so many of those people out there on the internet, on Facebook, on YouTube. You know, call them trolls, call them nosy, call them whatever you want to call them. I don't care what you call them. Just know that I'm putting 20W50 back in the bike, and I'm just not telling you what brand it is. So go with that as wherever you want to go with it. You know, it is what it is. You know, I have plenty of motorcycles. I've done lots of oil changes. Chances are I'm going to change the oil in these bikes on time rather than mileage. And, you know, that right there in and of itself is probably going to get some people, oh, you don't ride your bike, you got all these motorcycles, you don't ride them. You know, it is what it is. I'll come out, I'll ride, I'll jump on that bike, I'll jump on that bike, I'll do whatever. You know, chances are I'm going to run out of time on the life of the oil rather than, you know, the mileage that you should change your oil. So, you know, that's another reason why I'm not showing you what oil I'm putting in. You know, you're probably thinking, oh, you're putting some cheap oil. I'm not putting cheap oil in my bike, but I just don't want to influence anybody on their choices of brand or whatever. So here's the filter, and it's going back on the bike. All right, so hopefully this will go back on as easily as it came off. And I'll just throw her up in there. You know, I did go back with black because I want it to be subdued. I don't want it to be, you know, all shiny and chrome up here. It's, you know, I just want the filter to kind of blend in with the rest of the bike. Let's get this towel out of the way, I guess. You know, I want it to be subdued. I don't want it to be like, oh, look at me, I'm a chrome oil filter up here on the front of the bike. So I like it subdued the way it is. So I went ahead and I got another black one put on there. All right, so that's hand tight. Let's, you know, make sure she's righty tighty lefty loosey. So make sure she's righty tighty. And we'll give her some turnage. You know, fairly tight. It doesn't have to be super tight. What I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna take that K&N, I'm gonna line it up, just, you know, why not? There we go. Lined up. And now it's installed. I I always put my hand on stuff. I always like to feel it, make sure it's tight. You know, one last check. I guess that's the aviation in me, you know. I want to feel it, all that other good stuff. So that's it. Filter has been installed. Now, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some oil in it. And then after I do that, I'll start the bike up. I'll bring you back when all that's happening. All right, guys. You know, bike is full of oil. Got the key fob. I'm gonna start it up. Make sure there's no leaks. You're gonna come along with me. Hopefully there's no leakage, because I did move my sheet and my catch can. So, you know, we're living dangerously a little bit, anyways. You know, we'll get this get old Black Betty ready to go. Start it up. Make sure she's in neutral, which she is. No, I leave it in neutral. No, some people don't. They like to leave them in gear. So here we go. There you have it. She's running. She's not knocking. Not yet, anyways. There's no oil coming out the bottom. That's good. No oil coming out of the filter yet, which is the way it's designed. So far, so good. No lights on the dash. Don't mind the oil spot, you know. I did that when I moved the filter. All right, you know, just got back from a nice little test ride. You know, a rip around the neighborhood. You know, no issues to report. You know, no oil light, no problems, no leaks. So, you know, I'm gonna call that a successful oil change. You know, pretty simple. You know, if you got a little bit of mechanical ability, you can change your own oil. And you can change your own oil in a motorcycle. You can change your own oil in a car. You know, you can do your own oil changes. It's pretty easy. It's you know, you go to the auto parts store, they'll hook you up with what you need. I mean, you don't even need to know your filter size. You know, just go to the counter. You know, some young man like my son, they'll help you out. They'll type it in the computer. You know, because they don't know all that stuff by memory. Type it in the computer, tell them what kind of car you got, what year, blah, blah, blah. And they'll tell you what kind of filter and what kind of oil and how much oil you need. You know, that's what the internet's for nowadays. Besides other things. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, no issues, you know. I'm gonna call it a successful oil change. You know, also, I'm gonna call it for this video. I think that's gonna do it. You know, if you like what I'm doing with this road glide, you like what I'm doing with the other stuff, you know, give me a thumbs up. You know, throw some comments down on the block. You know, I like talking to folks. You know, anything positive. You know, if you're a negative kind of person, just don't. You know, I don't need the negativity in my life. Yeah, I'm gonna do it for this video. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, like, share, follow. Go to my Instagram, diydaveb. Go to my Facebook page. Do it yourself, do it right. You know, we're throwing stuff up there, DIY projects, not just motorcycles and cars, anything really. You know, my boy Linder, he's fabricating some stuff, boy. Let me tell you. You know, he threw some pictures up of a trailer. He's putting new fenders on, boy. Like that. You know, he's on it, doggone it, boy. Let me tell you. Anyways, like always, till next time. Thanks a lot.